Welcome back, students. Hope you all are happy and fine right now. And now we are going to study about another topic of molecular basis of molecular basis of inheritance, and it is the part number 6 of lesson 6, that is replication of DNA. Today's topic is the replication of DNA. And in this topic we will study how DNA make its own copy. So in different kinds of organism, that is in prokaryotic organism as well as in eukaryotic organism, the method of replication of DNA is slightly different from each other. Although the basis is the same, means basic concept of replication is the same. So replication means copying or making a new copy. So DNA itself make its own copy, and it is called replication of DNA. In eukaryote or eukaryotic organism, DNA replication take place only once in the life cycle. And you know in which phase the DNA make its own copy? S phase. So in which phase the DNA make its own copy? S phase of the interphase of cell cycle, the DNA make its own copy. So when the DNA make its own copy, the copy may be slightly different from each other. Yes or no? No. The DNA replicate through semi-conservative mode, means there is a very about 0.0001% of chance to have different kinds of or differences in the DNA of mother with respect to the daughter DNA. Means the mother DNA and the daughter DNA has very less probability of having change. Means they are semi-conservative. Means the mother DNA conserve all the characteristics in the daughter DNA. Understood? So very little amount of changes can be seen, otherwise there is no any kind of changes at all. That is called semi-conservative mode of replication. So the mode for semi-conservative replication was proposed by Watson and Crick. So who proposed the semi-conservative mode of replication? It is done by Watson and Crick. Understood? And on the basis of antiparallel and complementary nature of the DNA strand. You know the DNA have two strands. Okay, that is 5' and 3'. So 5' and 3' are just semi-parallel to each other. They are semi-parallel, or you can say antiparallel. If one goes in 5' to 3' direction, another goes just parallel, anti-parallel to, it means it goes opposite direction, and both of the strand makes a DNA strand. Okay, although you will study all these things about that, first of all we should watch a simple video on this. Just wait. Watch this video carefully, you will understand.
DNA is a molecule made up of two strands, twisted around each other in a double helix shape. Each strand is made up of a sequence of 4 chemical bases, represented by the letters A, C, G, and T. The two strands are complementary. This means that wherever there's a T in one strand, there will be an A in the opposite strand. And wherever there's a C, there will be a G in the other strand. Each strand has a 5' end and a 3' end. The two strands run in opposite directions. This determines how each strand of DNA is replicated. The first step in DNA replication is to separate the two strands. This unzipping is done by an enzyme called helicase, and results in the formation of a replication fork. The separated strands each provide a template for creating a new strand of DNA. An enzyme called primase starts the process. This enzyme makes a small piece of RNA called a primer. This marks the starting point for the construction of the new strand of DNA. An enzyme called DNA polymerase binds to the primer and will make the new strand of DNA. DNA polymerase can only add DNA bases in one direction, from the 5' end to the 3' end. One of the new strands of DNA, the leading strand, is made continuously, the DNA polymerase adding bases one by one in the 5' to 3' direction. The other strand, the lagging strand, cannot be made in this continuous way because it runs in the opposite direction. The DNA polymerase can therefore only make this strand in a series of small chunks called Okazaki fragments. Each fragment is started with an RNA primer. DNA polymerase then adds a short row of DNA bases in the 5' to 3' direction. The next primer is then added further down the lagging strand. Another Okazaki fragment is then made, and the process is repeated again. Once the new DNA has been made, the enzyme exonuclease removes all the RNA primers from both strands of DNA. Another DNA polymerase enzyme then fills in the gaps that are left behind with DNA. Finally, the enzyme DNA ligase seals up the fragments of DNA in both strands to form a continuous double strand. DNA replication is described as semi-conservative because each DNA molecule is made up of one old, conserved strand of DNA and one new one.
I think you understood this topic, this video very well. Let's study. Hope you will carry all these things, whatever you watched in the video, and try to understand the topic that I am going to explain over here. Okay, so you can see the main important thing. First of all, DNA has to open itself. So what was the main step? The process of semi-conservative replication. First is the activation of nucleotide. So the DNA has 4 kinds of nucleotide, you know well, that is adenine pair with thymine and guanine pair with cytosine. Okay, so both the adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine should be get activated and should open at all. So how do they get activated? All the nucleotide that is present in the DNA get activated by ATP in presence of enzyme phosphorylase. And when they get activated means dinucleotide adenine monophosphate, DAMP, adenine monophosphate guanine, and it is deoxyribose, small d for deoxyribose, deoxyribose adenine monophosphate, deoxyribose guanine monophosphate. So these monophosphate should be converted into triphosphate, ATP, DGP, like that, and this phosphate is get activated by extra amount of phosphate by ATP, means adenine triphosphate or adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate give extra phosphate and activate the AMP to ATP, GMP to GTP, CMP to, I think understood. So with the help of ATP, adenine monophosphate convert into adenine triphosphate, guanine monophosphate convert into guanine triphosphate, and this way this process is called phosphorylation. This means extra phosphate is get attached with the monophosphate. That's why it is called phosphorylation. So when they get activated, means phosphorus is nothing but the extra energy. It provides the extra energy, and when they get the extra energy, they get activated and they are ready for further replication. Understood? Next, point of origin or initiation point. There should be a point where the DNA will open and they start the replication. So the point where they start replication and the point where they stop replication is called O origin and T origin. See, whatever it is written, it begins at the specific point O. Means replication start at the beginning point O and terminate, means it stop at T. T site. The unit of DNA in which replication occurs is called replicons. Remember this. The place where replication starts or the part of the DNA where replication starts is called replicon. In prokaryotic, there is only one replicon, whereas in eukaryotic, there are several replicons. Understood? In tandem. Tandem means the repeating of nucleotides. It is called tandem. So, which enzyme starts the DNA replication or start the initiation point? It is done by enzyme endonuclease. It is done by endonuclease. So endonuclease stand and attach with the temporarily with the DNA and open it and breaks the sugar phosphate backbone, and thereby they open at all, and after opening the replication of DNA starts. Okay. Now opening means unwinding means opening of DNA. So you come to know that the endonuclease get attached with the DNA. Now the endonuclease obviously try to open the two strands of DNA. So here the two strands of DNA get open, and it is done by another enzyme that is called DNA helicase. Written over there. Now enzyme DNA helicase operates by breaking weak hydrogen bond. So the hydrogen bond that is present between the nucleotide, that is adenine and thymine, it is a hydrogen bond. So this hydrogen bond is broken by DNA helicase, and the two DNA automatically separated to each other and go opposite to each other. So unwinding is bidirectional, means in the DNA which is going parallel to each other just go to different direction. Now they are not parallel at all. So unwinding is a bidirectional and it make a Y-shaped structure, and this Y-shaped structure is called replication fork. The figure is already given in your book, just have a see. Okay. Now each separate stand act as a template, means each stand can make its own copy. So each strand of the DNA act like a template, means a original copy for a Xerox copy. So template is the original copy in which Xerox copy is made. So each part of the DNA become the template. It is a template. The original part of the DNA is called template, because on this part of the DNA new copy will form. So it is the new copy. Understood? It is a template and the new copy forms. This is the new copy. So it acts as a template, and two stand separated and prevented. Both of them are separated and prevented from single strand binding protein. I think it is not needed to explain anymore. That much only. Only you have to do up till replication fork. Okay, that much. No extra necessary. Now, what is replication fork? The place where both of them is separated. The point formed due to unwinding, means when the DNA which was parallel, when unwind means when opens, they make a Y-shaped structure, and this Y-shaped structure is called replication fork. Fork means opening. Understood? So the point formed due to unwinding and separation of two strands appear Y-shaped fork and called replicating fork or replication fork. Unwinding of strand which is relieved by superhelix relaxing enzyme. Now only you have to learn the important point with 2 or 3 line that is explaining that particular point. Understood? It has written a lots of things in the points, although you have to do only 2 to 3 lines which explain the particular point. Now synthesis of new strands. You know, first when the DNA just separated from each other, the strands, so at that case a enzyme get attached with the DNA strand and forms a small RNA primer, and after the RNA primer the DNA polymerase get stand over there and forms the part of DNA. So RNA forms first and then the DNA start formation. So RNA primer. Let's see. Each separated strand act as a mold or template for the synthesis of new complementary strand. It begins with the help of a small DNA primer. RNA primer get associated with the 3' end. Yes, it moves from 3' to 5'. If this side is 3', this side would be 5'. So it forms from 3' to 5'. Understood? And help in the formation of or complementary nucleotide from surrounding nucleoplasm. So when the DNA get open, suppose here the DNA get open, it is the DNA and they get open. First RNA forms and after that DNA start formation, and this is done by an enzyme DNA polymerase. So RNA primer forms first and it happens in the 3' to 5' direction. So it is called leading strand. Okay, I will explain you more about that. So RNA primer get associated with the 3' end of the template and attract the complementary nucleotide. Attract so that a new strand of DNA. So nucleotide is attracted from the surrounding nucleoplasm or cytoplasm. So all nucleotide is present in the cytoplasm or nucleoplasm, and thereby they are attracted and carried out to make a new set of DNA or new strand of DNA on the template. Means all the nucleotide that is attached with the mother DNA is always remain there, and other nucleotide that is come and get attached with the mother DNA is spreaded over the nucleoplasm, and they are get gathered by RNA primer, and these are arranged with the help of an enzyme DNA polymerase, and hydrogen bond get attached over there and binds all the nucleotide. Understood? So interconnected by phosphodiester bond and obviously phosphate. So all the component, that is nucleotide, that is nitrogen bases, nucleotides and phosphate, all together bind with the help of enzyme and forms a polynucleotide strands. Means when the DNA open, RNA primer forms, and after that all the things like nitrogen bases, like sugar bonds, pentose sugar and phosphate, all the three gathered over here and makes slowly and simultaneously a continuous layer of DNA strand. Understood? And this is done by DNA polymerase. Point to be noted. DNA polymerase. The new complementary strand is always formed in 5' to 3'. Understood? So leading and lagging. In one direction you saw that in the new that is formed from 5' to 3' direction, another will form into 3' to 5' direction, but it is opposite direction. Which 5' to 3' is a continuous layer, it makes a continuous, but 3' to 5' is opposite, and it cannot able to make, means when one strand, just see over here, suppose one strand move from 5 dash to 3 dash. Suppose here is a 5 dash and here is a 3 dash. So it will be continuous. But the another strand, if it is 5 dash, obviously it will be the 3 dash and it will be the 5 dash. Now if it is 5, it will be the 3 and it will be 5. So always the DNA forms in 5 dash to 3 dash. But here you can say, see, so 5 dash is present over here, and in this direction it is not possible to draw. So the formation takes place in this direction, means just anti-parallel, and obviously it is just opposite strand or opposite direction. That's why small pieces of DNA forms over here, and each pieces is called Okazaki fragments. Let's study. So this segment is called lagging strand. This is called leading. The first one is called leading and the another is called lagging strand. Just see, the template strand with 5 dash, the template strand with free 3 dash is called leading template. With free 5 dash end is called lagging template. Remember, 5 dash end is all, suppose the another fragment, that is this, if this is a 5 dash end, that is called lagging template. The process of replication always start is 3 dash of the template, means it start with the 3 dash and move to other 5. Understood? So see here, the process of replication always start at 3 dash end of the template strand and proceed toward the 5 dash. As both the strands of the parental DNA are anti-parallel, new strands are always formed in 5 dash to 3 dash. Remember this. The new strand will form opposite direction to each other. That's why it will not make a continuous layer of DNA. And that's why small pieces of DNA are formed. And these small pieces of DNA are called Okazaki fragment. On the newly synthesized strand developed continuous toward the replication fork is called leading, and another newly strand forms discontinuous and it is called lagging strand. So the small pieces are formed on the opposite direction with the help of same manner, that is first RNA primer forms and after that DNA forms, and so many small pieces of RNA forms, and the places which were vacant is covered by DNA, and after all the RNA is removed by DNA polymerase and they make a continuous layer. So maturation of Okazaki fragment means how Okazaki fragment is converted into a continuous layer. Understood? So the DNA synthesized on the lagging template take place in form of a small fragment called Okazaki fragment. Okazaki fragment are joined by the DNA ligase. Ligase means the chemical or the substance which help in the ligation or sticking. So this enzyme help in the sticking. Understood? So DNA primer are removed by the DNA polymerase. DNA primer were removed by DNA polymerase and replaced by DNA sequence. So all DNA primer are replaced and new DNA sequence are formed, and this DNA sequence make a continuous layer. So finally DNA guidase enzyme forms double helix of the daughter DNA molecule. So double helix has been formed and it is made by one another DNA enzyme, that is DNA guidase. The formation of daughter DNA molecule. At the end of replication, 2 daughter DNA molecule are formed in each daughter DNA, and one strand is parental and another is newly synthesized. I have already explained these things. Now differences between leading and lagging. So leading, it is continuous, it is formed continuously as single fragment. Leading forms the single fragment, whereas lagging forms small pieces, and these pieces are called Okazaki fragments. Second number, RNA, it requires only one primer obviously, because after one primer, formation of one primer, all the DNA forms in a continuous, but here several pieces of small RNA primer forms which help to forms the DNA segments. Understood? DNA ligase, is it required over here? No, not required. Is it required over here? Obviously, because it has a very small pieces of DNA, so they are required to be. So in which direction it move? It move from 5' to 3', and in which direction there is forms? It forms 5' to 3', but opposite to each other. It completely stand 3' to 5. However, Okazaki fragments forms in the 5'. So segments remain form in the 5' to 3', but just as it is opposite, that's why it forms in a small pieces. Understood? So it is the end of this part. Hope you understood this part very well. If you have any kind of problem, you can watch the video once more. You will understand all the things. Hope you have better learning. Complete the homework on time and send it to me. Thank you. Bye bye.